Marty, I'll start off with an easy one. Your nickname, Mouse. Where did that come from?
So basically, when I was born, Sonny Cody, actually Ger Cody's father that plays with us, came in to see me, and he just said that I'd hair like a mouse, and it's stuck ever since. Just literally since I've been a couple of weeks old.
Did it ever bother you? Are you happy enough with it?
No, never bothered me. It's not going anywhere now anyway, so I may just get used to it now.
Yeah. Well, what's this season been like for you? Because it started off with the situation where Ballinkillen were booted out of the competition because of a fixture situation. I won't go through the ins and outs of it, but at that stage, you were the ones who kind of insisted that you wanted to make sure you fulfilled the fixture, and maybe you won that game, and they were ahead late on, if I remember correctly, and things have just kicked on from there.
Yeah, it's been a mad few weeks. I suppose it's only 6 weeks ago. It feels like it's last year. Like it's mad actually. Yeah, look, I suppose we were prepared for the semi-finals Ballyhale, and then it got put off. Then it was two weeks later it was played, and obviously for a long time it was we were in the final and that was it. But then we obviously requested to play the match, and thankfully it got on. And then I suppose we nearly came back to bite us then. Literally the last puck of the game, scored a goal, bring it extra time. Now we're here talking about Leinster final. It's crazy really.
I wish we weren't talking about you in the Leinster final, but there you go. But in the meantime, you've beaten Mount Leinster, who were Leinster champions not so long ago. Arcula were obviously All-Ireland champions a couple of times, and Rathdowney as well. A brilliant game against them. It's been some journey.
Yeah, it has been a crazy journey, I suppose. Especially it's supposed to be mad. We won them 3 games by a pint, literally last second stuff. Obviously we bet Rangers, and then we went to 14 men as well. Completely went things real hard for ourselves, but managed to pull out the fire. And then obviously the Coola game again, and get another great win. And then Downey, that was tit for tat for the whole game, and they were a pint up just going injury time. And then James got the 2 pints to send us to the Leinster final. So small things it's small. Another day we wouldn't be here. It would be a Rathdowney lad here. So just thankfully it went our way on the day.
So, if you remember the last few minutes of the Coola game, I was injured on the bench, and I was looking over it because there was a big sort of kerfuffle in the crowd, and it turned out that it was ultimately Micheál Ryan who'd had a heart attack. And then afterwards, initially there's celebrations from your players, our players are devastated, and then you're devastated because you see what's going on. And I remember watching it and the attempts to resuscitate him, and it was eerie. It was tragic. It was thankfully he's okay now. But can you explain what was going through your head? And were you aware of what was happening? Because Oisín was brought back off his son. He had come on and taken back off because of what was happening on the sideline. What's your memories of that?
Yeah, I just remember looking over and I seen something was going on. There was a commotion over, but I didn't know what was going on or who it was, or was it even anyone at all? Was it that serious? And when Oisín came on and got taken off, then I put 2 and 2 together. I kind of realised that must be Oisín's father, and they didn't realise till the end of the game how actually serious it was, and it was just, as you said. I just remember myself and Jack kind of jumping on each other, and then within 5 seconds it was just as you said, tragedy. It was just heart and mouth stuff. Everyone crying, just it really wasn't looking good, And then thankfully that later on, that even we got news that he was coming around and he was asking questions. So, but yeah, it was just mad. We were all in the dressing room crying. It was just scary. Yeah,
because I remember just standing there and they were giving him CPR, and I found myself just staring at it, transfixed by it. Shouldn't even be looking at it, but couldn't not at the same time. Were you kind of similar?
Yeah, Niall, our manager, was telling us to go in, and as I was walking in, I actually turned around and I walked back over to see how he was, and to see was there anything I could do, or just to be around there. And as I said, it was hard to kind of walk away from it, not knowing what was going on. And it was just an awful, I suppose, an awful couple of hours. And you would hope it never happened again.
And then that Rathdowney game, he was in hospital while the game was going on. I don't know if there was obviously good wishes from the likes of James after the game, James Doyle, and Niall before the game. Did you know if he watched the game? And then he was due to have surgery the day after if Niall was accurate.
Yeah, I was with him the Wednesday before that match in Kilkenny Hospital, and then he went up to Dublin in that weekend. I don't think there was a telly in the room. I'm not really sure. I actually haven't asked him. But I'd imagine he went somewhere to see it, or there was a Hurling hospital to see it. But yeah, he was talking tonight and everything at half time in the match, like, you know, like, and he got what he needed to say. He got it in anyway. But he was back at train Sunday morning, like, so.
Was he?
Yeah, he was back up there, and it was great boost for us to see him back up there, like, you know. And I'd be the type of lad now that he just kind of wouldn't mind nipping it in the bud now, like, you know. I'll be sick of hearing about it.
So Ballyhale then, I mean, the All-Ireland champions, they're destroying pretty much every team they play, so you couldn't have a bigger task for a Leinster final.
No, definitely playing the best team anyway in Ireland, obviously, they won it last year and they're going for back-to-back, but no, look, it's a name that everyone knows and everyone knows who plays with them, and but look, it's, you know, if you want to conquer like these championships, you need to have to be the best. That's just the way it is, like.
Do you expect it to be a very different game to the Rack Downey game, which felt really unbelievably exciting game?
Yeah, look, it's just look, these games just take a life of their own, like, you know, as you know yourself, like, you can plan for these, you can plan for Sunday, but what you plan for could go out the window within the space of 5 minutes, like. I'd say it'll be just helter-skelter, you know, obviously with the weather and that. I'm not sure I'd say the pitch won't be too great. I'd say it'll be just, you know, similar to kind of maybe the Ballyhale match, you know, just everyone just fighting for their lives, really, like, you know.
That was a mud bat, I have to say. Would you be getting on to Colin Bonner, the Carlow hurling manager, former Ballyhale manager, to try and get a few tips, or to be fair, is he going to tell you anything about TJ Reid that you don't already know?
Yeah, exactly. No, look, actually, I haven't been talking to him at all, really, but yeah, look, we know how good they are. Like, they're unbelievable panel of players, and look, it's a game we're relishing as a team. You know, we're playing the best team, and we're going up against the best, and we'll know a lot about ourselves come Sunday evening. Like, you know, like,
you're right down there by Wexford and the Kilkenny borders. I presume it's nothing but hurling and more hurling down there.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you talk about. Like, you know, we're literally bordering Wexford, Waterford, and Kilkenny. Like, you know. It's hurling mad. Like, we've only a hurling team down there with no football, like, and obviously it's our first provincial final, Leinster final, like, so it's obviously a great buzz around the place.
What do you think it'd mean to the parish to win this?
Oh, Jesus, there's no real there's no words to describe, like, if you won it, like, but obviously we're playing a huge team, like, and we won't need a bit of luck on the day, like, but again, we're not. Look, it's a game we're looking forward to, like, and we're relishing, like, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And then just a quick word on Carlow this year. It feels like, you know, from an unrelated county, it feels a bit like, because you were so competitive, the fact that you're going down into another competition, which to some degree could set you back, it just feels like a backward step from the GA to allow this to happen.
Yeah, it is. It is a backward step. There's no point saying anything else, really. Like, there should be 6 teams. I think there is going to be 6 teams next year, like, I'm not sure, but there should be definitely this year, like, you know, because we learned an awful lot about ourselves last year playing them games, and we'd love nothing more to be playing them again this summer, like. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. And even with the football, like we were just talking about earlier on, like between Carlow football and Carlow hurling, like, it's kind of gone backwards again, like, regards inter-county set up, and then you see yourselves in a row in provincial finals, like, you know, just doesn't really make sense, like, you know. We're doing our best, like, forward, like, and, you know, hopefully it'll improve.
And where do you think Carlow hurling can go in general? And I mean the inter-county team at that, because people kind of feel like, oh, you'd bounce between the Liam McCarthy competitions in Leinster, I mean, and the Joe McDonough. But do you feel like you can take it on even more?
Yeah, like, I definitely think we can be really competitive in them games in the Leinster Championship. Like, I know if we got a couple of years up there, like, then maybe we could talk about beating one of the big teams, you know, like. But the way, like, you can't just, as you said, you can't go bouncing from one to the other, like, you know. If you go 6 teams, then you have a real chance of staying there for a couple of years, you know, all going well, and then you can talk about maybe beating one of them, because, like, we weren't far away from Galway this year, up in Galway, like, you know. And it's, again, like, it's huge games, huge intensity, like, and, like, we played the 4 games in 5-week period, like, and at that intensity, that level, like, you know, you want that again this year, like, because we learned an awful lot about ourselves, like, so hopefully in the future that can happen.
And cheers and best of luck in the Leinster final.
Thanks very much.